Hello, everybody. This is Theodore with Lies of the Devil, exposing lies of the devil. This video, I'm going to be playing you an audio clip of a man that did construction while I was there. He was doing construction with Kent, and he needed to get out. You can hear it in his voice. You're going to hear it. He wanted out, and he was asking us for help to get him out. Just like in the last video, DAL, cult of predators. That Tim being scared out of his mind. Okay, this guy's the same thing. He needed to get out of there, and he's asking for help. So I'm going to play that. Then I'm going to show you how these men just use intimidation. That's what it's all about. They intimidate, and they're violent-minded men. They're salesmen. The end result is that they're salesmen. They get their foot through the front door. They sell you on the gospel that they don't even believe in, and it's all about making money. And if you get in their way, they will drive you into the ground. They will drive you into the ground. Okay, it's just no different than corporations and big corporations. These people are the same thing, only in the Christian merchandise industry. Okay, so and then we're going to kind of end it on some humor as to show you guys who these people are, what their modus operandi is, what their sales pitch is, so that you can see them right away and stay away from them. So I'm going to play this clip here, this audio clip. His name is Nye. And again, this was maybe a month, 2-3 months after we already left, that he called and asked us, hey, he needed a visa. He needed somebody to sponsor him so he can get a visa so that he could travel around, because I guess he was an illegal immigrant at the time. And he was there. He worked on all kinds of stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you see built, it was him and a handful of other construction workers. They're gone now, right? But it was them that really built a lot of what the initial startup of this place. A directory of different construction companies and see if
yeah, the fact is, Bryan actually called me from Bowling Green, and I can have a job there, in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I get a job or whatever. But right here in Alabama, I had kind of ready 2 houses to build. 2 people asked me to build them a house. Mm-hmm. And that will give me a work for at least half a year or more. And that's a lot of money coming in, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I kind of don't want to let that fly, because that's big, man. That's a good income.
Well, this isn't... yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you got to think of it like... Yeah. Well, I would think of it like this, Nye. I would think of it like... And then I go ahead and explain to him, because that's what Kent does. It's all about money. So he's sucking this guy in and giving him money to build houses that he's going to ask for rent, right? And I'm going to show you in his video, Kent's video, he's all about that. He's all about taking advantage of people. And instead, it's in his actual video, how to make money God's way or something like that. You're going to hear it. You're going to be like, whoa, what the heck? This guy is all about renting things out and sucking people dry. So he's building these homes. He's making money. He's all for that, right? Because he's making money. But he's confusing it with what God is telling him in his spirit, right? He's getting confused with it because, again, the love of money is the root of all evil. It can play games with you. So I give him advice and I say, hey, listen, you need to think of it like how the Lord would look at it. And you're going to hear this next clip. I talked to him for about 1 minute, 2 minutes, so I'm fast forwarding through that. And then he gets it, and he's like, yeah, I outstayed my welcome. I need to go. He's like, this isn't right. I mean, his spirit knew. His whole, if he has the Holy Spirit, it tugged him. Instead of income, instead of...
I've been fighting for this paper for 6 months right now, man. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I basically spent my time here in a place where I shouldn't have been here in the first place, but, besides all that.
Well, everybody wants to do something great for the Lord. That's what everybody's passion is, who loves God. And it just, so, you tell me what, you have my number in your phone. You text us, you tell us what we can try to do if we need to try to get a hold of us, some construction companies or whatever. I don't know what we can do. You can just call and let us know, okay?
Yeah, I know. Well, I got a few lines open at the moment, which I'm trying to certain people who would have to know a little more. So.
What? Say it again.
Yeah.
Wait, say it again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
I got a few people already, in my line where I'm talking to at the moment who know a little more, and they are trying to dig in some more intel about what I can do at the moment.
Okay.
And so there is certain things still open, but I'm almost at the end of the line, man. I have to leave, because I overstayed big time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Even though I can show them why I did, and I got all the paperwork, you know what I mean? But still, my time is, almost gone here.
Yeah.
Running low.
Yeah.
So,
you hear that? And, he was more... Anyway, that's one piece of audio. You just wait for the next videos. You guys are going to see why they're very hush-hush about things. Because they're being spied on. Okay? So here's this guy, Bill Sardi. Here he is. He's Kent's vitamin guy. All right? He sells vitamins. See that owl at the very top left? Knowledge of health. All right? His whole gimmick is like InfoWars type stuff, and then selling vitamins. Not saying that the information's false. It's good information. You have to take it with a grain of salt, some of the stuff, because they are trying to put fear in you, and they've got their agenda. But it's about selling vitamins. Look at this guy. Doesn't he look like just the nicest guy? Look at him. What a nice guy with a good smile. Selling Noah's water. Wow, look at that. In a pool with water flowing down, and Noah's water. Wow. You know what? I might have to take that water. I might have to take some of that. It's probably very special. And then, so that kind of gives you an idea. Looks like a nice guy, right? Kent looks like a really nice guy. Just smiles all the time. I'll tell you this joke. You could pick you could pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. Moses made a little profit from, I can't remember the jokes that they got. I mean, that's not who they are. You want to know who this guy is, this Bill Sardi guy is? Let's take a look at this letter that he gives to Eric and Joe, because they're getting ready to cut off ties with Kent and get him out of the house because he's going way too far. He's basically committing the same crimes. They're like, no, we're not going to be a part of this. We're not going back to jail for you. We've warned you. Get out. You need to get out, and you need to fix this thing. All right? You need to fix what's going on up here. And so this Bill Sardi guy throws out this email. Okay, rewind it. Go look at that nice man's face. Now let's look at this letter. All Hovinds needed to hear this. See Bill Sardi at top left. Okay, it's from him. All Hovinds needed to hear this. All is destructive. Eric might as well start washing dishes for a living. His mother can continue to offer piano lessons. Both will live in near poverty, and Eric's wife can go find a job and let the kids go unattended and drift off into sin. What a wicked, disgusting man this guy is. Eventually, the blame game kicks in. Whether there's a divorce or not, Joe gets pillared for not being a dutiful wife and abandoning Ken emotionally and physically at a time when he needs this most. They planned this whole thing out. I'm going to show you. I'm going to see after this. I'm going to pull up an email where this is all planned. This whole entire thing to defame the family and slander them. It was all planned. So Bill Sardi's warning them like, hey, this is coming down the pipeline. If you guys do this, this is going to come down the pipeline. Joe, your name's going to go through the mud. Eventually, the blame game kicks in. Whether there's a divorce or not, Joe gets pillared for not being a dutiful wife and abandoning Ken. Women are always on the outside in business decisions. See, this is business. Women haven't usually the savvy to make business decisions. Kent will not back down to the government. All right? And it's all about the IRS doing the devil's bidding and whatnot. It's like the IRS wants people to start businesses and fund the economy, and they have programs for that specifically. What they don't like is when people are fraudulently swindling individuals and doing it in the name of God. Yeah, that's not a good thing. So here's Kent. Again, this is a moneymaker, right? It's all about being a salesman, and he talks down to these kids. You have to pay attention to the techniques. So he starts off by telling them, this is what a good worker is, this is what a bad worker is. And then some stupid gimmick where they went in and they flipped all the hymn books upside down or whatever. And then he's like, look at your hymn books. They're all sideways. And the kids are like, oh, wow, they are. They don't care. Oh, wow, they are. He's like, did any of you guys fix it automatically? You did. You're not a good worker. And then he's like, now let me tell you what a good worker is. Somebody that's smart. And then he makes this story up, condescending the person that he can't do anything, that he's brainless. And then, I'll rent my ladder to you. After 3 days, make your money and I'll rent it to you and I'll just take a portion of that goodiness. It's the same thing with tithing. It's the same thing with this guy that did construction. Just drained him. Gave him a little tidbit with money, make it look good, and just drained him to where he's like, man, I got to get out of here. Okay, now I'm seeing for what it is. I got to get out of here.
We messed up every single songbook. None of the songbooks are in there straight. Yeah. Now, when you sat down in your seat, there's no money in them. Not that I put in there. When you sat down in your seat, some of you didn't even notice. No, the songbook's not straight. If you noticed and you didn't straighten it, then you're not a number one worker. Number one workers, they see what needs done and they do it. No, you really need money. You don't need a job. He said, okay, I need money. He said, but I thought I had to get a job to get money. I said, well, normally you do. I said, what have you tried, Jeff? He said, oh, man, I've applied to McDonald's and Hardee's and Kentucky Fried. And I said, well, Jeff, if they do hire you, they're going to pay you $4.50 or $5 an hour, and they're going to make a profit off of you, right? He said, well, yeah. I said, well, why don't you work for yourself? He said, I don't know how to do anything. I said, you're in college and don't know how to do anything? He said, well, I can play Pac-Man pretty good, but it's the house, climb up, clean the leaves out of the gutters, and throw them in a bag. Think you can handle that, Jeff? He said, yeah, I believe I can handle that. I said, all right. Why don't you today start Jeff's gutter cleaning service? You're going to have your own corporation. You're going to be the president and executive vice president and the whole thing. You are the company. I said, I will loan you my ladder for 3 days. After 3 days, you're going to have to rent it off of me if you still want to borrow it, because I do not like loaning out tools. I'll rent it to you for $10 a day, because I don't want to rent it to you, okay? But for 3 days, you can have it free. Here's what I want you to do, Jeff. Put my ladder on the roof of your car.
Do you hear that? And then he makes a joke about putting the ladder on the roof of the car. Make sure you tie it down. And then he pauses and waits for it to sink in, and the kids start laughing because it's a joke. It's a gimmick. That's why he says the same jokes over and over. The stories are perfect. Every word is the same thing over and over for many years. He's a politician. That's what politicians do. That's what actors do. They memorize what works and they use it, and they keep using it. So this next video clip it's humor. It's basically a Hoover vacuum salesman trying to sell a vacuum to a woman. And pay attention to it. He gives him a free goodie, and then he's like, because that opens you up, because now he gave you a favor, do him a favor and let him show you what the vacuum can do. And then once he gets inside, he takes his sweet time just showing her all the cords. The more that she has her eyes on that vacuum, the more that she'll want to buy it after. So you'll see he puts it down, he gets the stick, he kind of shows her and like sets it right down next to her, and he's like, where's your outlet? Oh, that'll do. So he goes and runs over there, and then he plugs it in, and then he grabs the cord. He's kind of running it through to kind of like, well, look, keep looking. I mean, it's very funny. This is who these people are. They're Hoover vacuum salesmen, but they're very vicious.
Afternoon. I'm Mr. Willard with the Davis Vacuum Cleaner Company, and I'd like to present you with this little gift, if I might. Right there, that's a little keychain there with a flashlight on the end. You can use that at night. Shine the light right on the keyhole there, and then it just makes it easier to find for the key. That little flashlight there is guaranteed for life. Of course, if it gives out the next couple of weeks, don't think it's the end for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I was wondering if you had a couple of moments, perhaps I'd like to demonstrate the new Davis to you. It has some interesting attachments you might be interested in seeing.
Well, yeah, sure. I guess I got a few minutes. Come on in.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very nice home here. Gosh, well, why don't you just sit right over here and relax, and I'll kind of set up here won't take me but a minute. Got an outlet here. Here we go. There we go. Oh, you got indoor electricity. Next thing they'll have indoor plumbing.
Joke before. Where have you heard that joke before? Kent says it all the time. I mean, he takes the best elements of everything and he uses it. And he puts it in his bag of goodies and he pulls them out whenever he needs to, make people laugh. Listen to this. This is the exact joke that he says all the time.
Oh, you got indoor electricity. Next thing they'll have indoor plumbing.
When it's on the Bible, God's truth, Ephesians 5:6. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience. I'm telling you, God is going to give Kent what he deserves, and the people that are in there, you don't want to be a part of it. Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. You understand that? I'm trying to tell you, watch the other videos. These people are violent-minded men. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay? You need to get... Kent, he is waging war against the government and just doing whatever he can to inflame other people's hearts with violence and hatred towards the government. And the guy's a violent-minded man. Okay, he's a psychotic Jeffrey Dahmer in the Christian realm. Only he doesn't kill spiritually, he doesn't kill physically, he does it spiritually and financially. Okay? Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. John 8:32, ye shall know the truth and the truth will make you free.